journey today that will be helpful. I think it'd be insightful. It's from Psalm 127. I changed it, so if you don't like it, pray for me. But I like it a whole lot because I really like it. So let me take a few minutes, set the stage, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have a questions and answer session. So you'll be able to ask me anything you want. And today's questions are Sheila, our administrator, has a ton of minister Sheila, elder Sheila, whatever you want to call her. She's got a bunch of questions that she's going to ask, and you'll be able to chime in. And online, you can type in a question, and we'll go back and forth. 2 weeks of this, and we're going to take two sides of the mountain. Imagine with me, on one side is the children, and one side of the parents. And this is going to be so much fun because there are a lot of things that I think I've learned, and a lot of things that I think can help you. And if you really want to be victorious in your life, you have to fix the family. You have to make sure the family is clear. And I think a lot of times people just don't know how to do that. They don't understand both sides of the mountain. If you have no kids, it's still good for you because you need to get ready for it. And if you never plan to have kids, it's still good for you because one day you're going to get married or one day you're going to have somebody in your life. So if you don't, however it works for you, I think this will help you. So let's get to it. Open your Bible to Psalm 127 if you don't have that. And I did not give them the notes. I did not tell them. They have no notes today. They have no verses for you. So if you got a Bible app or something, you better pull it up because today you're on your own. Because I changed everything on purpose. So, you ready? Hot off the fire. Psalm 127. It says, unless the Lord builds the house, the builder labors in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Children, verse 3, are a heritage from the Lord. Offspring, a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. One of the most surprising things to me is the impact that family can have on your life, specifically when you deal with certain stages in your family. So when you start off, you have a vision of what it's going to be like. Most of the time, your vision for your life is not the reality of your life. Whether it be a career, a job, doesn't matter what it is. All of it adjusts. There's a reality adjustment. So you start off thinking romance is going to be this way, and then when you get married or when you fall in love or you date the person, you find out there's a reality balance. It starts evening out. Same thing with a job or a career. Can't wait to be a teacher, can't wait to feed, can't wait to feed. Then you become one. Then you go, oh, God, help me. I'm going to survive this, I promise. The same thing is true when it comes to any profession. Pastors are some of the most depressed people I know. They struggle with term preparation. They struggle with presentations. They struggle with a lot of things. The sadness in the job, dealing with death all the time, and some of the other sides of it, hit me really hard. And so what I wanted to do today is specifically talk about family. Next month in April, we're going to have on the third Sunday a marriage, just for married couples. We're going to also have some more events I want to do just children. And I think it's really important for us to understand how this all fits together and how it works. So I want to give you 3 things that I noticed in the text in Psalm 127. And I want you to notice the first thing it says. The builder family is the Lord. The one who ordained it, the one who created it. Now, if you really want to know how to do things right, ask the designer. And here's what he says. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. I don't believe that family works well when you do it your way. The Temple way, the Smith way, the Barnard way, whatever your name is. If you're building it your way, you'll run into something. It's so easy. I don't know, are you the kind of person that puts stuff together without the instructions and there's always pieces left? Yeah. That's what the family is like if you try to do it on your own. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. So let's start with that as a premise. If you look at the family mountain and you say, how do we climb it? We climb it with God's instructions. Without climbing it his way, things are just kind of left half put together. I tell the story when Ricky was a baby, I put a bike together and I'm not the guy who really wants to do that much, but that's not my strength. And I put the wheels on backwards, and I just told him to pedal harder. And Diane laughed. Diane's real mechanical. She's better at it than me. I don't care what you think about that. It doesn't affect my manhood at all. She's just good at it. She's the kind of person who can do it without instructions. It's really funny. She can look at stuff and figure it out. And there's just that scientific brain of hers, the way she processes. And I think embracing the reality, though, that even though she can do that sometimes, most of the time it's still better to read the instructions. So the first thing he says to us is, unless the Lord's involved in the building project, unless you invite the person who designed it and get his instruction manual, you're going to do it wrong. And here he says something that's pretty profound. He says, you're laboring in vain. He acknowledges that there's a labor part of this. There is a part of this that's intense. So be clear, house building is not without labor. It's always something to do. Close the watch. Can I get an amen, somebody? Always something to do. So the labor part of it's present. He says, but unless you invite me in, you're laboring in vain. All your hard work is in vain. Then he goes on and says this, unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. You don't just need to understand God's manual, you need God's protection. You need God's hand over your family. And I love the way he phrases this. It's as if you're not going to guard it well with just you. You can get a good man, you can get a good wife, it doesn't matter. If you're the only two people guarding the city, if you're the only two people guarding the home, it's not going to be guarded well. There are too many loose ends. There are too many ways the enemy can slide in. And so you need God's presence. So you need God's manual and you need God's presence. Those two things are really important. And then thirdly, he goes on and he says, they work to provide. And I love this. He says, in vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Now, the big part of this switches now in verse 2. A big part of the switches, because now he says, let's talk about the Lord's job in the family. Now let's talk about the parent's job. The Lord's job is to guard. The Lord's job is to give you the manual to show you how to do this. Your job, you believe, he says, is to toil. Listen how he describes it. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food. It's all about provision. One of the things on the parent side of the family mountain is you think all you're supposed to do is provide. And so you'll spend years working on providing. I provide food, I provide clothes, and it's all expensive. It's amazing how that getting up early, going to bed late. Now, let me tell you what I don't miss. I don't miss the school bus. I do not miss the school bus season. I just don't miss it. And then, I don't know if you had it, sometimes they don't come. And then your kid, if you're out there waiting with them, you got to go. And then the other kids say, can you take me too? And then everybody wants to pile in your car. We've had so many days like that. So many days. This is amazing. And so if you're not careful, your job description in your mind is all about provision. And so you feel like a big paycheck, if I can just put it simply. Every time they outgrow their clothes, you buy something, they outgrow it. It's just amazing. They spill stuff on it, come home, knees all tore up. It's like, come on, I just bought those pants. And if your money is tight, it's a real issue. So the parent side is provision. The Lord's side is to be the one who gives you the manual. The children's side. Watch this. I love this. Children are a heritage from the Lord. Children are a gift. Children are a gift. And when things aren't going good with them, you got to say that to yourself again and again. Children are a gift. Gift from the Lord. Children are a gift from the Lord. I hear something in here. I don't know if that's a hissing sound or a joyful sound or whatever that is. Help me with that, guys. But there's this incredible moment when you realize that there is this by faith thing happening as you travel through the seasons. I have a 1-year-old grandbaby, and she's cute as can be. They're named after my mother, I guess, to really win my soul. And so, because I never would, my mom's been passed away since 1999, so I never would say her name much. You just don't say her name, but her name's Laura. And so little Laura she has one big word, hi. every day. That's hi. And she waves, and that's her one word. Hi, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Hi. If she saw me now online, she'd go, hi. She says, hi, it's hi. And it's cute. Let me tell you, it's a cute little face, but it's a lot of highs. A lot of highs. All the way in the car. Hi. In the back of the car. Hi. I'm saying, okay, you got it down. That's good. We got the hi part. Bye. Okay, that's good too. Hi. Okay, we're back and forth between hi and bye. And it's over and over and over again. In those moments, you say, children are a heritage from the Lord. Offspring are a reward. When they get to those ages where they start to do these amazing things, these amazing moments, the teenage years, those are real fascinating years. And throughout your life, you have them. Well, you have to remind yourself, say with me, children are a heritage from the Lord. Then he says this about them. He says they are like arrows in the hands of a warrior. Now, you have to understand this. It's important because he's trying to paint an image in your mind. Children are an arrow you fire into the world. Every time you see a mass shooting, that's an arrow fired into the world. That's somebody's son, daughter, mainly son. The other day it was a daughter who went to a church, of all places, with her child. It's amazing to cause havoc. How do you get from here to there? And every story you hear when you zoom in on the people, it's a tragic story. A dysfunction, and something on the child's side of the mountain went wrong. And we all are affected by it. The one thing that's so true, we are all in it together. I love to say this when I'm in places and things aren't going right, like on a plane and we're all jammed in, or we're running in some crowded space and people bump into me and apologize. I say, my normal response is, we're in this together. And it always brings a smile. It's, no, we're in this together. I know it's crowded, but we're in this together. If somebody steps on my foot, I say, okay, we're in this together. I know you didn't mean to do that. There's something about realizing that that's the truth. When you shoot arrows in the world, the kids we raise affect everything about our world. They're like arrows. And I love the way he says, in the hand of a warrior. You're the warrior, the parent side. You're someone leading the fight. You're the main trainer. And you're shooting them into the world. The question is, what are you shooting into the world? What kind of person are you creating? And it really does matter when a drunk driver hits your car. And it's a child driving the car. Something in you realizes that I'm not in this alone. He says, I love this. He says, blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. And then you start getting children. You know, I know people who they couldn't have children. Then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up. They had 1, 2. They said, okay, Jesus, that's good right there. That's good right there. 3, okay, that's really good, Father. I thank you. 4, 5. I mean, and nowadays you don't feel excited. It used to be, you know, when you had a lot of children. Oh, wow. Now you go, oh, whoa, wow. Wow, wait. Because the first thing you think about is what? Money, how much it costs. But even if you have money, it's I know people who have money, it's the demand. The child side is expensive on the parent side. On the child side, it's one thing, but when you have a quiver, and think of a quiver as we're arrow holder, right? A quiver full of them. But notice the pride in the way this is worded. That somehow he says it shouldn't be a bad thing to have children. It shouldn't feel as, we shouldn't be as resistant to it. Because what he says is this, blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them, they will not be put to shame. The parents will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents. When there's trouble or challenge, the kids will be there with them, standing with them in court or in some public arena where they need support. The kids will be there. What's amazing is notice how positive this is. Nowadays, you tell people you have, how many kids you got? Whoa! People start feeling sorry for you. What's the difference? The difference is, he says, when the Lord's in it, when the Lord's building the house, when it's not just about labor and work and provision, children were designed to be a heritage, a gift, a blessing. And so that's the lens through which you need to see it. Now let me say this to you, and I'm done. We get to answer some questions. How you feel about something affects everything around it. So if you go on a job and everybody's, happy you're there, and that's why that song was so famous. I want to go a place where everybody knows my name. Cheers. And they're so glad you came, because this feeling of being wanted drives a lot of things. I'm telling you, there's nothing like feeling wanted. Nothing like it. Walking in a room and, hey, there's nothing like it. When a child grows up in an environment and they're wanted, you want me. And let me tell you, that's not just true when they're young. Let me give you a hint. They need it all their life. All their life, they need to feel like they're wanted. That's why when your children come to your house, they need to feel like they can just go in your refrigerator and get your stuff and eat your stuff. Here's a classic one. Dad, I ain't got no paper towels. I said, you got about 10, so I'm going to take about 2, 3. Walmart's right on the way to your house. Why must you get my paper towels? I don't understand why. Well, you got 10, Dad. What you need, you don't need 10. Let's back up the track. My house, my 10. I went to Sam's. I loaded up so I wouldn't have to go. You see, but no. Well, see, now, then don't let Diane hear that. Because here's what Diane does normally. She packs them up when I can't see them. If we have food after, big events, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, by the time I get downstairs, that girl done gave away all the food. Everything is going to their house, all the leftovers. I got crumbs in the refrigerator. I have to go find me some food because they have it all. Let me tell you, but that is an important moment to know that I want to give them things. I want to be there. One of the mistakes I think that parents make, I often say this about dads, you don't visit your kids. You don't go to them on your dime. Even if you got to stay in a hotel. Even if that's the best plan. Sometimes it is the best plan. Sometimes you don't need to come and interrupt the flow of their family life. Some people, every time you come, you stand too long and you interrupting everything and giving instructions and criticizing what ain't right. And now y'all ain't got no milk in the refrigerator. Why y'all don't got? Well, we don't drink milk here. Well, you knew I was coming. Well, yesterday I knew you was coming. I knew you was coming today. Whatever the story is, but there's something about you opening your heart and being present in their lives because you choose to be. And not making them feel like a burden. And then lastly, I'm going to say this, and don't rehearse all you've done. Don't rehearse it all. Now, I've got my own story. I say it all the time. My kids, I think here's what they should talk about. They should talk about tuition. That should be a main theme. My daddy and my mom paid for my school. Hallelujah. No student loans. Woo, they should talk about that all the time. Every time I see them, thank you, Daddy. They should say it. That's what I think. Them cars they drove. Oh, Daddy. Oh, Mama. Oh, they should talk. But they don't talk about that. Matter of fact, they don't want to talk about it. They're appreciative. They're thankful. But they want our relationship to be more than about what I gave them. They want to feel loved by me. They want to feel that they're not forever indebted to me. So I will never say, after all, now this is going to be hard. I know sometimes it's hard not to say it. After all I've done for you. Let it come out, it slip out, After all I've done, all them diapers. You know how much your diapers cost? I remember Ricky's milk was $45 a case back in that day. Now, some of you said that wasn't bad. It was bad then when you didn't make $45 a day. You know what I'm saying? $45 for a case of milk. What is it now? Is that a lot now? What is it now? $45 for No, not for a can. For a can. See, my children be drinking water. A can of formula. A formula? 45. What about the little can? The little can. How much the little can? $16.99 for the little can. 16. 1699. Yeah, oh wow, it's 45. I guess I can't complain. Well, see, the money was different back then. But but what's amazing is that's not what Ricky wants to hear. Because that was my calling and my life. So, this side of the mountain's children, we're going to answer some questions. If you're online, you can type in a question in the chat. They'll be glad to bring that question to me and I'll answer it. But I want to spend the next few minutes. Ms. Sheila Bishop, our administrator and our minister here in charge tonight, is going to ask some questions. If you have questions that you think you want to ask, raise your hand. We'll point you out and let you come. We'll get the mic to you, and you can ask a question. What you got, Ms. Bishop?
Thank you so much for everything, Pastor Rick. And the first question, what was your experience like raising kids? You give us a little glimpse, but what was your experience like raising Ricky and Christina?
In different seasons, it was fun. But I think if you say overall, it is challenging. There's a lot of challenging seasons in raising children. Confusing seasons where you're not really sure you're doing it the right way. There are seasons when you question whether you should be firmer or not as firm. But I think at the end of the day, it's a progressive season. Here's what's interesting as your kids get older. It doesn't go away. I thought that when they got to college or when they got out of my house or whatever, but family seems to always somehow migrate together in some issue, some way. We need each other. I'm getting older. They're younger. Whatever it is, they got grandkids. Whatever it is, there's something that forces us. So I look back and say I don't regret it, but I would tell anybody that it's an ongoing, progressive responsibility. You saw me try to put that together? Yeah. Ongoing, progressive responsibility. Can we hear that? Come on. Ongoing, progressive responsibility. It doesn't go away. Some seasons this is fabulous. You know, you're at the park, everybody laughing, and then next week, here it comes. They said this happened, or whatever, some disagreement or some issue you got to work out, and so it's a progressive responsibility. That's how I see it.
But was there one particular season that was more challenging than the other, or was it each season had its own challenges?
I thought that when they were 2, that was the challenging season. But when they got to be teenagers, I realized that wasn't true.
Oh, yes.
And then when they got to be in college, I realized that wasn't true. Yeah. And now that they're grown, I realized none of that was true. Because you have less power, less control. Not that I should have more power or control, but emotionally on my side, we're asking me about me, on my side, I have to make adjustments. I love something called emotional intelligence. I love it. EI, it's a great study. Emotional intelligence has to do with 2 things. Me understanding myself, being intelligent about Ricky, and also the people I'm dealing with outside of me. And emotional intelligence means I emotionally am intelligent. I'm clear about me, Ricky. I know what Ricky likes. And I'm now clear about you. So when I deal with you, I can make my mental adjustment, my emotional adjustment. And so I think I've had to make those emotional adjustments at the various seasons of my life.
Were there some particular things that surprised you with raising kids? What surprised you the most?
I thought you would graduate from all issues. I thought there was a graduation day. That you would say, okay, now, because high school, you you're out, oh boy, going to college, and then you go take them, oh, well, they graduated, and then they get married. Oh, and they're married, and then they got, it's a progressive process. It's always going to be something. See, I think you have to embrace that. I think if you can embrace that reality, climbing the mountain, saying this is what it's going to be like dealing with the children side of my mountain. There's going to be a challenge. It's going to always have some element of adjustment and maturity and growth on both sides. They have to grow. I have to grow. There's give and take. I don't control their house. I can't go to Christina's house and move stuff around, even though I have ideas. I do. I go in and, but I mean, they'll politely tell me, Dad, oh, okay, no problem. But I still think this would be good, but okay. I'll pay for it. It doesn't matter. I'm okay. It's yours. It's not mine. It's not. I go design your own house. I have a nice house. Design your house. I mean, you can't design my house, her house, everybody's house, and so it's an adjustment.
One of the things that would be fun, I think all of us like to do that. What did you think was right then compared to now?
I thought when they were younger, I won't say jacking them up, but taking charge. I was a spanky daddy. I was. I believed that it was somehow necessary to use aggressive verbiage and hands-on techniques if you didn't do what I say right now. I used to have a counting system. All right, here's the deal. I'll tell you once, I'm only counting 3. When I get to 2, my hand's going to be on you. I ain't going to 3 to get you. No, I was serious about that. 1, you know what the next number is, right? Yes, sir. Okay, good. I need you to make a move. And so that was fine, but gets old after a while. Then they get bigger. You know what I'm saying? And then, Christina started talking about black-on-black crime and stuff, And she was a trip, man. Black-on-black crime, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? People died for that. Martin Luther King. I said, look, girl, stop telling me about Martin. I need you to do this. I miss and call her on a bad day. Negro. I think I said that kind of, sort of. She gave me the biggest Martin Luther King speech you ever wanted to get. I ain't said it since. I'm serious. That girl gave me the biggest. People died, Daddy. People died. The Ku Klux Klan. Use that word. You don't need to be. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll never say it again. I haven't either. Biggest speech ever. So you learn. Now before you go further, I see a question online here. Jules said, What are ways will you connect more with your grandsons when they don't live close to you? How do you connect? I go visit them, Jewel. I go visit them. I make a point. I have a schedule that I maintain where I go visit and see my grandkids because I realize if I don't, I won't have one. I'm a big believer that should be in the budget. I just believe go visit your kids, connect with them. Don't always make them come to you. That's what I believe. Here's another one. What does a father, Glenn asked this question, up in North Carolina, hey, Glenn, tell your daughter I said, hey, too. She's a star of the show, by the way. Just let her know that. All right. What does your wife's too? I like her. I like both of them. They're really nice, Glenn. You're okay. Okay, here we go. What, don't feel sorry for him. What does a father do when the arrow released doesn't land near the desired target? It actually leaves off trail and ends up in a broken life. I think that your responsibility is to shoot them, but it's their responsibility to fly. I don't think it's your responsibility to control where they land. Your job is to send something good in the world. Their job is to be something good in the world. So that's how I'd say that, Glenn. Thank you. Can you grab that mic right there? And that's fine. Take that mic. Okay, good. That's fine. I am not going to make you my mic person. Grab that. Come over here. Help with that mic, would you? I got my Erica. Erica, you got it? Go ahead. That's fine. You can go back to your seat, and Erica will sit there and take it from you when you finish, okay? Go ahead. Erica, give it a mic, and then we'll let you be the mic person. Go for it. Go for it. What's your question?
Is it on?
It's on. It's on.
How do you motivate a child who doesn't know what it takes to motivate the child?
Okay, how do you motivate a child when you don't know what it takes to motivate them?
As well as the child doesn't know as well.
You just do the best you can. Motivation comes in time, son. It's how long did it take you to get smarter? Give them that long. Say, oh no, that's too long. No, don't give them that long. But sometimes you have to give them an opportunity to work through things. So that's what I would say. I wasn't a big reader until I was about 16. 15-ish and a half, 16 years old, really 16. And I think, and then I became a bigger reader when I turned 19. College was a really good thing for me in terms of reading and all that. And so, and then I was a better student in my master's level. Undergrad, I graduated. Thank you, Lord. That's all I can say. But at master's and above, I was all A's. And that was because I had a different level of discipline and I had different motivations. You know what I mean? So it's amazing how different I was. So at different seasons, sometimes you have to wait. They'll catch up. Sometimes it's not till they're 50. Look, Moses was 100 years old smoking a rock. It take a while. It's hard to watch it. It's like a bad movie. Oh, wow. They broke again. Oh, wow. They out again. Oh, where they going to live? Oh, don't come back here. They come back here again. I mean, you watch the movie, but then that's just the journey. Yeah. Okay. Somebody else in the building? Okay. What you got, Sheila?
This may sound like an awkward question, but do you think you could have a happy life without children?
Yeah. I said it fast. Yes. I think my children are a gift to me. I love them. But I don't live for my children. Now, that's just me. You asked, I'm Ricky Temple. I'm the guy in front here. I'm just telling you. I never say I live for them. I never say I don't do it because first of all, let me tell you what happens. When they don't say thank you like I need them to, I get attitude. I don't know about you. I need you to say thank you to me. I don't need you to talk smart and you drive in my car. I'm sorry. You need to walk on your feet. You talk smart on your feet. See, I'll get into all that. So I think it's important to love my life outside of my children. It's also important to love my life with my children. I don't believe in that. I don't believe it with the grandchildren too. I love them. I love my granddaughters. They're wonderful little people. I talked to Melanie tonight. Hey, Papa. Hey, baby. What's going on? When you coming to see me? We're working on it, baby. We're working on a date right now. I promise you. Give me a few more days. Oh, yes. And she loves being with us. Oh, she tell her parents I'm moving with my grandparents. I'm leaving y'all. She'll tell them in a minute. What? She got a whole business plan. She told me. A whole business plan. She told me. And Diane said, well, your parents going to be sad. They'll be all right. She told that the other day. She said, they'll visit. They can drive down there to Savannah. And see, like you drive here, they can drive there. She's 8 years old. That's what she told them. She told them. She made that. She says that with conviction. She doesn't just say it. She said, no, I'm leaving here. When she told them the age and everything. So she's moving. And I ain't said nothing. I just get quiet.
We actually have a question online that says, can you give some good advice for first-time grandparents?
I'm trying to say this right now. Love them, be excited, but they're not your children. Those are not your children. Now, don't go in there and start bossing around and telling everybody what to do and how much milk to give and all that stuff. Sometimes you don't go well because, they need to have a chance to find their way. Sometimes you tell them stuff, they don't listen to you. So you watch them. Oh, how'd that go? Oh, it's not going good? Okay. Praise the Lord. Keep on trying. You let them do what? Oh, boy. Okay. You tell them they need to drink milk until they're 1.5. Okay, let's see how that works. And they start reaching for your food and crying all night. You say, well, I think I'm going to feed them. Because, see, when they come to my house, I'm going to feed them. They're going to sleep. I'm going to give them all they need. So I'm going to give them all that ain't going to work for me. I'm not going to be tortured. So, but remember, they're not your children and love them. Now, we got another one here. What did it say?
It's Sharon. Said, do you feel like you taught your children everything they needed to know, or did you feel you missed out on some things?
Yeah, you regret. You wish, Sharon, you wish you had taught them more about money sometimes. You wish you taught them, but let me tell you what I've learned. Let's flip it around. Did you do everything your parents taught you? 1, 2, 3, the answer is? Thank you. They don't do what you say. God told Adam don't eat that fruit. He ate it anyway. Every day walking by that tree, oh, that look good. One day I'm gonna get a bite of that. They don't believe you. Sometimes they don't trust you. They think you're old fogey. And sometimes lust just gets the best of them. Temptation gets the best of them. So no, I didn't teach them everything. I tried, but I think now, for example, if you ask me what would I have done differently, we used to have a big money conversations. But I probably would have had a monthly review, like a budget discussion. How did we do this past month? So that they would have an ongoing knowledge. I would never give them access to money without accountability. So if I'm going to give you this money, like especially in college seasons, we'd have a monthly budget meeting. How do we do? And I think giving kids money without accountability is not good. But I'm a big believer in allowances. My mother raised me that way. Some of you may not. All you kids got to work to get money. They got to paint the floor or something. You know, I don't believe in that. I believe in you can't manage what you don't have. There's not enough chores around the house. Yes, no. They live with you. I wouldn't. That's me. This Ricky. Do what you want to. You ask me. I believe you have to have the ability to manage, and I have to put money in your hand before you're 18 so you have something to manage. My kids changed totally when I started Temple Bank and Trust. They was asking me for money all the time. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you $25 a month. And what you can do with that, you do. They save up, get about end up with $100. And when they go to the park, can I get a T-shirt? Sure. Out of your bank and trust. I used to carry a little book around. I used to carry a little book around. I said, you just sign right here, get a piece of paper. And be like, I had to fill out like a deposit withdrawal slip. They did. And so they would go ask people, can I have a piece of paper? Man, you got any paper? And they said, what you doing? I got to get a withdrawal. And the bank closed at 4 o'clock. And they would, then they got smart. You know, we got ATMs now, Daddy. You need to go longer hours. No, I didn't. And they would withdraw. And it's amazing. They didn't want that shirt that cost $20. The light was $10. They didn't want that. And then Christina, one time, it was so funny. Christina said, you know what? They was in the back of the car. It was so funny. And Christina said, Ricky, I'm just so sick of them. Every time they want, you got Temple Bank and Trust. Do you buy anything for your children anymore? Do you buy anything? I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I said, I can hear you back there. You know, I can hear you talking. You're not like, it's not muted back there. But Daddy, you need everything we want. Temple Bank and Trust, you spending all my money. I'm spending your money. So what it did, though, was it made them aware. So, but to me, if I waited to them to earn everything, they would never have enough to manage. So you got kids going to college, never had any money in their hand. They get in college, they can't think. So I think you got to give them enough to manage. That's my opinion. What we got here?
Quick follow-up. Do you think grandparents have rights?
They do. And I think they do, but legally there's only so much they can do. So I understand my limits. Those are my grandkids, and I'll jump in. And I think you have to jump in. I personally think you should allow the grandparents to have a voice. I personally think it's healthy, but I think it's responsible of the grandparent not to go too far. There's a book called, write this down. I think this is awesome. It's going to be one of our book of the month. I haven't had it yet, but I've gone over this book with young adults. I love this book. It insulted me when I heard the title. It's called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen, yeah. That is a book to get. It will bug you. Oh, man. What have you done as a parent that's immature? And it talks about things like, for example, mirroring, where you look in the mirror and say, oh, be like me. It talks about parents who are internalizers and how that, it's just amazing. It's a great book. It's really, really wonderful. But this is going to become one of our books of the month. All right, what else we got?
I think there was another question. I think Rion had.
Rion had a question.
Yeah, she had a question. Is the relationship with adult children? Is it okay to be friends with your adult children?
Hey, Rion. Hey. Listen, I think so, but that if you're talking about friends to the point that you can't be a parent or be I think that's a mistake. I want to be. I feel like I'm close to my kids, but I need to be able to talk to them. I don't think that my position as a father should become like your friends down the street. I think that's too far. So I hope that helps.
Yes. And the other one's sort of a statement, but advice for the adult only child with challenges of bringing mother to live with them, and mother doesn't get along well with the wife and feeling stuck.
Yeah, that's tough. Because, and this is why this book is so important. because it says you got to be a mature adult. If you are moving into your child's house, there are certain guidelines. You can't talk to my wife like that. I think. You can't talk to my husband like that. Or we're going to have to find some other arrangements. Now, that's Ricky Temple talking. You know, my mother and I, bless her heart, she's going to be with the Lord, but I didn't have that problem out of her. And I think, but I understand. Let me tell you what I understand. I understand because I'm 65. I understand, about to be 66. I understand the other side of it now. I'm more sympathetic to the parent feeling forgotten about, left out, and seeing stuff that terrifies them and wanting to say something and you're hesitant to say it. I understand that. I also understand that I don't have a right to come in and dominate somebody's home. So I've got to find a balance. So I think you got to have a meeting, you got to have a conversation, and generally you got to have a meeting with each other. I don't think a mother should be able to come in and disrupt the family to the degree that you're now about to be divorced and separated because of her or because of your dad. I think everybody has to be mature. I'm living with you. I should be thankful, and I need to understand that there's certain things, boundaries I have because I'm living with you. Because I'm your mother. Yeah, you're my mama, but listen, mama, hold on. And I'll give you an example. We were on a church trip. Moms are funny. Moms are hilarious. My mom was hilarious. We were on a church trip, and we went to L.A. and took a bunch of staff, and we were doing, I don't forget, ministry or whatever. And I remember we're in a van, had staff in the van, and my mother hit me in the back of the head 2 or 3 times. She did. I said something funny, and she said, pow, 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 pow. And I said, Mama, we normally don't slap the pastor in the back of the head. That's not what we normally do. And she said, I'm sorry, son, I'll do better. She was being funny, but it's probably too far to be slapping the pastor in the back of the head. That's what I think. And I just think it's unfair for your mother to move in the house and take over the kitchen, take over everything, and nobody say anything. Because all it does is it leads to division and strife. So I think you need to have one of those, I call it renegotiating the contract. Let's renegotiate our relationship. Because I think that's what has to happen when you have kids who move in with you. If you are living with your parents, you don't need to be coming in there, in hours that make them uncomfortable. I don't want you coming to my house 3, 4 o'clock talking about you went to a party. You know what? You're going to have to party outside till tomorrow and come back. That's me. And that's my house, so I got the keys. Anyway.
Another great question. Yeah. Do you have any advice for a first-time father of a toddler son?
Hold on. It's going to be a minute. It's going to be a minute. It's going to be okay. But you'll look back at those days, and those are some of the best days ever. I think back when Ricky was younger, some of the things we used to do, boy, he was hilarious. We used to want to go bike ride. Bike, Daddy, ride bike. I said, okay, we're going to ride a bike. And Diane would get on the bike, I get on the bike, and then Ricky would get about, he'd get on his bike, he'd ride about 3 blocks. He said, and he'd get off, and he'd sit on the curb. He'd throw the bike down and sit on the curb. And he said, I'm tired. I said, well, Diane was saying, you tired, boy, but who's going to ride you? I ride with you. What's that? Daddy can pull the bike. I said, no, see, Diane would have conversations, Ricky, I want you to please. He's 3 or 4. Ricky, I need you to ride all the way. I'm going to ride all the way back. I'm going to ride all the way back. Yes, I am, too. And then lock yourself in the dressing room at Sears. I never forget it. Locked yourself in the dressing room. Wouldn't come out. The people was getting mad with us because people want to go, try on clothes. And then Diane came and got me and said he won't come out. Rick, he's in there. And then I went to Ricky, I need you to come out of there. He says, no, because you're going to beat me. Now everybody think I'm going to beat him. So now I'm looking like a beater, and I'm on television. I've been on television a little while, so people know me, Are you going to beat me? Yes, you are. You always beat me. I said, okay. Just hold on, man. Just hold on. It's going to be okay. Ricky could walk when he was 8 months. Good. I'm not talking about like wobbling. He was big. He's wearing size 2 clothes, 1.5. He's big old dude. And so people didn't, and he couldn't talk hardly, you know. And so people thought he was just bad because he'd get in the store and get in between the clothes. You know, he's just, oh yeah. I mean, he'd run in between the clothes, you know, clothes on the rack. He'd get in between them and the clothes be flying. I was so embarrassed. So many times. Go to Walmart, go to Kmart, say, Ricky, no toys now. No, okay, no toys. And time I put him down, he'd take off and run as fast as he could. I had to chase him. I'd be running through Walmart, running and grab him and pull him up like a paper sack and take him to the car. You can't, and then he'd cry everything. Man, it was always something. But we survived. Hold on, that's all I can tell you. Great memories.
We have another online, it's sort of a statement, but we can formulate a question. When you've poured a lot of wisdom, experience, and teachings into your children, but what do you say when they still rather experience rather than listen?
Just love them like God loves you. You did it. It's amazing how we forget. You had a season when you didn't hear everything they say. Sometimes people can't see what you see. They have to have experiences to help them see what you see. That's why as you get older, a lot of times they start seeing what you see. A few evictions, some challenges, a couple of problems, court date. A lot of things broaden their mind. They go, oh, I see now. And then their life changes. So sometimes you have to just kind of pray with them. The same way God puts up with us, we have to put up with our children. The same time God gives us, we have to give them.
So maybe you've spoken to that some, but are there some things that you wish you could really go back and change?
I don't know that here's what I believe about going back in time. God didn't give me that ability for a reason. Because he assumed I'd mess up stuff. He wants me to go forward. All things can still be worked together for my good. Going back and woulda, coulda, shouldas, there's some stuff you probably forgot about that you go back and mess up. That's why all those shows about going back in time, it always ends up bad because you can't see all sides of it. So I would say no. I do things differently now because of what I know.
So I think this is a fun question. Is what is your view, or could you really speak to your the father-daughter relationship, especially as an adult daughter?
And I'm going to take on about 10 more minutes of this, then we're going to say goodnight to you. But thank you.
The survey questions.
Yeah, we got survey questions, right? So hang with me about 8:15. We're going to be done. So your question is, say it
Just
again.
Your view
father,
of the father-daughter.
I think it's different. Daughters are different. I mean, they are more analytical in some ways. They are very much impacted by the way you deal with them differently. So I think as a father, I see the importance of my presence in her life and caring about the details of her life. So it is a different experience than a boy. But I think I've learned that they both need me equally.
So one good question on that then. Do you believe you should insert yourself in your adult children's lives? How do you do that?
As much as they would be comfortable with. And I think they'll be more comfortable if you're not judgmental. That's the key. You can't be judgmental. If you're judgmental, I think it doesn't work. All right? Couple more?
Want to do the survey questions?
Survey questions, yeah. Survey questions, then we're done for the day. Let me show you what your answers were to the surveys.
You have a question, Leroy? Leroy has a question.
Leroy has a question? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm just wondering if knowing you.
Hold on. Go ahead.
I wonder if you did what one of our members who has gone on did. He said that he went to his children's house once they moved out, and he went and turned on all the lights. Then he went and stood in the refrigerator until they finally said, "Dad, what are you doing?"
That was me.
So you did that.
Oh, I did it, absolutely. And I did it for both of them because I think it's a joyful thing to do because they did me like that. Yeah, I did it, absolutely. Somebody, okay, here we go. Survey questions. What do we got? What was the results? Let's see. What did they think? Is parenting hard? 75% say yes. Wow. Okay, next. Let's see. Let me move this out the way here. Let me get this out of your way. And then we're going to close out with this. Okay, I asked you a question on the survey. Did you have a difficult childhood? 4% said all the time. None of the time, 40%. Sometimes, 50%, 55%. Wow. 40% said none of the time. Okay, next. Did you willfully obey your parents? 40% said yes. 6% said no. And then I love this. 59% of you said most of the time. That's almost a no, but most of the time. What's next? Would your life have been easier if you listened to your parents? Look at that high number. 56% said yes. 15% said no. Sometimes, 29% of you said sometimes. Wow. Is there another one? Or is that the last one? Okay. Do you wish you had been given another set of parents? Look at that. No. But there is a small percentage who say yes. There are people who have such bad experiences coming up, they really mean that. They feel their life could have been better or different if they had mature parents. That's why that book is so good. I'm telling you, get that thing now. That book is amazing. It really makes you as a parent and a child see both sides of the mountain. It's really great. All right? Emotionally, okay, did your parents fairly listen to you? 50, I'm sorry, that's annoying. You know, right? 59% said yes. 40% said no. High percentage of people that said no, they didn't fairly listen to me. That's why that book is so important, because it helps you see how you as a parent can be unfair and not be mature, not be reasonable. All right, is that it? Are you now involved in taking care of your parents? 34% said I did take care of them. I'm in that group. I do take care of them now, 16%. 50% of you said I never have. What's interesting, as you get older, that number changes. But that's powerful. All right, thank you. I think that's all of it, right? The book, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, How to Heal from Distant, Rejecting, or Self-Involved Parents, by Lindsay Gibson. That book is fantastic. Will help you a lot. Did you enjoy tonight? Yes. All right, let's all stand. I told you 15 minutes, but I did it in 8 minutes. An hour and 8 minutes. Didn't keep you all night. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being online.
We did sell out of the book of the quarter, but we have more in the book.
The book of the quarter, which is the one on thinking.
Yeah, the
Thinking book, which is, I can't think of the name of it. What's wrong with me? What is it? Winning the War of the Mind. That's right. That's right. You don't want to miss that. If you missed that book, we've got some of those in stock for those of you who here want that book. And that's April 13th is when we're going to have our book review. So let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. For those who are online, God bless all of you. Lord, I pray in Jesus' name that what we've talked about today is a blessing and grace in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, I see a closing question. Charlene said, how should you navigate adult children who depend on you financially? Show them how to be independent. It takes a while, but I think you have to get in it with them, and they have to be open to it. I was fortunate with my kids. They allowed me to help with those areas of their life, and I think it's an important thing to do with them. But you can't be criticizing and be mean. You got to help them out. Have a great day. Thank you all for being here. If you have more questions, y'all be blessed. Thanks for being with us today. Thanks for being with us, Don. God bless you. David, thank you for being with us today. I hope that you come back. See you next week. Same time, the second part of the Bible study, both sides of the mountain. We'll talk about the other side next week, the parent side. See you then. Bye-bye. God bless.